I'm Christine Doan, and I'm here with Marcella Adkins. We're a team who work on dressage horses, and you'll see many of them in the background. But what I want to interview Marcella about today is what happened on the weekend. We had a small competition. All of our Far North Queensland competitions are small competitions. Marcella, of course, stood out as the best rider with the best horses, but that's always the case. What was different on the weekend?
I think what was different, the whole attitude to be at a competition and to do the hard work. The girls, both mares, were super obedient, and they performed so well that I was actually really surprised how much they perform at the competition. They were all the time with me in the ring since the test started until the end, and even they were very tired on Sunday. They were actually on Sunday better as on Saturday, so which is very unusual, and I do believe it's got something to do with the Healy.
We're quite convinced that we've been using the Healy on our horses and we've been using the Healy on ourselves. The whole team is working better together thanks to the Healy. These are fairly subtle results sometimes, but when I saw those horses on the weekend, how much they'd improved since I'd seen them a few days before, and how soft and harmonious the whole ride was. And of course, I didn't make it back the next day because I'm a little old and tired, so one day's enough for me at a horse show. I, of course, don't ride anymore, but the question was, what did I see in front of me on the second best day? Because the best day was the next day. I saw harmony. I saw a willingness to work. I saw softness in Marcella's whole body. Very strong body, beautiful position. So she looked as strong and beautifully positioned as ever, as functional as ever. But you just get this emanation of a softness that she never had in her personality before. And the horses were showing exactly the same thing. So there was this amazing harmony between rider and horse that made for fantastic viewing because it felt good just to look at it.
It's true. I do agree. In the past, when I was riding horses, I was really strong with all my aids. Doesn't matter if it was my seat or if it was my leg aid or rein aid. And it's because I am a female, a woman, and we always want to have it now. Not a little bit later, but it has to happen now. And that's all disappear. And I have to say the horse is working with me now much more, and how Christine said, it is more harmonious. It is actually a pleasure. Now it is the real fun to be there.
And we believe that the training makes a difference, the coach makes a difference, the rider makes a difference, how they interact makes a difference. But everything has improved with the Healy. Now, how do we use it? Marcella and I have figured out different ways of using it for ourselves. So sometimes I kind of overdo it. I'll even run a blue dot and a pink dot at the same time. I've even been known to try out running 2 pink dots and a blue dot at the same time. So I've gotten pretty experimental about where I use it. But we like everyone who's a beginner to start with the slow, easy progress at the beginning. And I think that Marcella has a different way of approaching that as well. So she uses it quite specifically, as I also sometimes do, and we really depend on that blue dot to guide us. Now, we sometimes use our intuition, we sometimes just use the blue dot, we sometimes combine them. Most often we combine them. But how long do we run a Healy on a horse? There are a lot of different approaches, and some really want to use the Healy homeopathically. You know, we're sort of busy, and look how many horses Marcella has to look after. She doesn't ride them all, but you really need to figure out a way that works pragmatically for what you're doing and for what your lifestyle permits. So not everybody can do 8 homeopathic few second treatments on this animal or that animal all day because you've got too many animals that need the work. So we often run that 26-minute one on the horses after we've run the blue dot, after we've done the scan, after we've figured out what they need. And we almost always follow the advice of the Healy because the Healy often turns out to be right. And it often matches with what we think, but often when we see something that wasn't what we would have guessed, we look at each other and we say, if we think a little deeper, what does this mean? And then we begin to see the meaning of what the blue dot, what the scan was telling us. And we often, and most often, go with what the Healy tells us. So then we do a half-hour treatment, or 26-minute treatment, on the horse that we've just scanned. And another horse might get a distance treatment from the house later in the day. Another one might get it before it's ridden, another one after it's ridden. We've just played around with it because we've only had our Healys for, in Marcella's case, 6 months, not quite.
Not quite.
4 months. And in my case, about 8 months. It took a while before everybody sort of cottoned on to how much better I was, how much healthier I was, how much happier I was, and then they all said, we want to try that too. So we've worked up all these different possibilities for using a Healy, and we've found a pattern that works for us. I think this is something that we'd love to help you with in terms of guidance, but often it's something that you have to figure out, just the same way as you say, how often do I need my equine masseuse? How often do I need my equine chiropractor? When do I need a vet? We sort of learn how to work that out. When do I need my farrier? And we've sort of managed to find our own pragmatic program that makes the Healy work for us and for our equestrian team. Any questions about that, please post them online and we will answer them, or if we can't answer them online, send us your phone number, private message, and we'll answer them that way. Because we think the Healy is something that every horse owner, every serious horse owner, should have. Not just for the owner, but also for the horse. Try it on your dog, your pet pig, or anything else. That'd be about it. Hey, Marcella?
Yes,
you want to add something to that?
No, you just covered everything. Well done.
Well, I don't know. But we'll talk some more about this, but thank you for listening, and try a Healy.